Hello. Okay, we're live.
Of a living essence, of a living material that we're only beginning to understand, number one. And number two, the fact, and it is a fact now, that we may have experiences inside of our bodies that influence the world beyond our bodies through the conduit of what's in this space. There is something that we can do in our lives that influence not only the physical body, ours and those of other people. There is the existence of what must be a conscious and intelligent mind. This is his language in 1944. He said that this mind is the matrix of all matter, and it's from his work that the movie series began and many of the ideas that we have today.
There's only two components, according to the research, that shows how to change the field. Here's an example. They did an experiment where they took a group of people that were great healers, and they took these vials of DNA and we practice creating brain coherence. We actually measure
distinction between thoughts and feelings and emotions. And it's the feelings that are centered in our heart, what are called coherent, heart-based emotions. We know that when we feel a feeling of love, compassion, understanding, forgiveness, when we change the self-esteem, that there's an effect from that it changes the electrical and the magnetic fields in our heart, and that those fields literally change the stuff that our world is made of around our bodies. Our hearts are the strongest magnetic field in our bodies.
Hello, happy new week, happy Monday. Yes, we're gonna be going into a M.I.nday Talk, and it's so important for me to come here. It took me a while before I decide and start approaching the business world from this perspective. Why not? I'm so convinced about it, and I'm living and running my life from this perspective, from this reality. But I was like, maybe it's gonna be too much for you guys. Maybe it's gonna be complicated. I don't know how much people are gonna grasp these concepts, but I decided to stop my judgment and my limiting beliefs and start going through this with you. It's a book that what I'm gonna share is here is like a mix of the content here, but I'm trying to alleviate it a little bit because it's quite a heavy book, heavy content. So today we're gonna start talking about it's gonna be an introductory. I want you to introduce yourself in the comment and tell me if you are interested to approach business, your life, your personal life, from this new reality, new science. The quantum physics is not very new, actually. It has been here since a little bit quiet long time, but we take a lot of time to update our existing systems, whether business, corporations, economic, even our mindset. So today we're gonna just be going into this introductory about quantum age and why we need a new leadership. And here it's gonna be not only about you, but also about if you have your work, if you have a business, if you have work for an organization. I want you to get into yeah, Osama is my husband is watching, and he has been in the corporate world since he started his career in engineering, and he worked in international organizations. So do I, and this is what I'm gonna be talking about here. There was a big shift in the mind of the organization, and we're gonna learn today that your company, your organization, your own business has a mind, a heart, and also an emotional body. Yes, it's a little bit shocking maybe, but you're gonna highly resonate with this. Before I go further, I want you to tell me, have you heard of quantum physics? Have you heard? If you have heard, let me know. Say yes or no. And I want you as well to answer me if do quantum physics have anything to do with you? Do you think, like, when you hear quantum, maybe you might have heard about it, you have read about it. Do you believe, or do you think that this has any relationship to you, to your life? Does this have any implication? I like to hear from you as well. In the Hi, Iman. Hi, Habibti. Happy to have you here. Yeah, so let's talk. And also, I like to introduce. I'm happy to have people who have been in the corporate world, who have created their own businesses, people who have really tried to put themselves in something, so we can really relate. Most people have heard of quantum physics, and I like to call it Einstein called quantum physics Alice in Wonderland physics, because we're not going to talk a lot of the details of quantum physics. This is not our topic here today. It's about the management and the leadership from a quantum perspective, you becoming a quantum leader. And quantum physics is very different than the science that we have learned in school, that we call it a Newtonian science, because the quantum science says that we live in a participative universe. And this is amazing. Like, you're participating with the universe. We're no longer observer or receiver. We are into a participative relationship with the universe. And quantum science talks about entangled universe. Everything is subtly connected to everything, and everything is part of everything. So quantum physics is inside of us, inside our bodies, our mind, our houses, everything. We are very much connected and concerned, and we are part of the science, and we are affected, and on a daily, hourly basis, we actually live in a quantum world. And today, this technology that we have, that we are using, the internet, all the like the games, PlayStation, Xbox, the computers, everything, all the technology is quantum technology, and we are using it, and we are not still aware about all the aspects of it, and we don't know we're not still aware on how to apply it and how to use it. So today we're gonna go through this. This is what I'm gonna go with you. Are we quantum, and do we have any quantum abilities? Let's see. We're gonna go through these subjects. We're gonna talk about why we need a new leadership, why we are like we have, and it's shifting, but definitely it takes time. And what's the quantum self, and what we should do to transform our lives. And when we say transform, we talk about sustainable, futuristic transformation. That we said we're in a participative relationship with the universe, so we are here we have a very big responsibility, right? So we're gonna start today with ourselves, like as a human, guys. I'm sure you know this. Okay, we have three levels. As ourselves is composed, has three levels, or three compartments: the mental, the emotional, and the spiritual. Okay, so yeah, Iman, I'm so interested. Like, Iman is a very known and excellent, and I love her so much because she works from a beautiful spot inside of her. She's a hypnotist, and she has done great results on people, help them to change their lives. And like being working in hypnosis is another manifestation of using the quantum powers and the quantum world. So yeah, I'm so happy to have you here with us today, and please keep your comments and feedbacks coming. So today we're gonna talk about the human self first, a little bit, very briefly. I don't want to make it heavy on you, but we have three levels: the mental, the spiritual, and the emotional. And when I say spiritual, guys, I'm not talking about any religious associations here. I'm talking about this deep level of the self, which we are in touch with questions, the deep meaning of who we are, what we are here to do, like the real genuine source of self. The mental aspect, guys, is, when we say mental aspect, it's the when we talk about thinking. When you think, This is your mental aspect. When you're the ability to solve problems, you're using your mental aspect. When you put goals for yourself and you want to achieve them, this is again, you're using your mental self. The question is, which problems we choose to solve, and what goals we think it's worth attaining, and maybe which rules we have to follow. So yes, we need the mental aspect, but all these questions come from our emotional and spiritual dimensions that are at the source of what we think of, what we are able to solve, and what we aim to achieve. And the search for meaning, this is what I used to always feel, like this emptiness when I used to work in big companies, big organizations, big corporations. I used to feel that there is a gap. There is something not fulfilling. We are meaning thirsty humans, beings, because we always think, search for meaning behind everything, and if there is no meaning, we can go into crisis. Everything that is affecting our emotional bodies in a negative way, it means there is a lack of meaning somewhere. There is a meaning that is still not showing up. You're still searching. So, and the psychology has developed, like all the other sciences, a lot, and we are more and more aware that we humans are cannot function without our spiritual side. Everything we aspire, everything we are ambitious to, everything we associate to something is underpinned by our spiritual side, our this self, the very native created self. To function as full, we need meaningful answers. I'm sure, like every day, if you agree with me or you ask these questions, tell me in the comment. How much do you ask yourself, what is my life about? What does my job mean? What is the meaning of this company or this society? What is the meaning of just me being alive? And what does it mean that one day I'm gonna die? And why am I committed to do this thing on a daily basis? What's going on? Have you asked these questions? And how much you ask these questions? When we can't find answers, guys, we go into crisis, as I said. And I personally started questioning these questions at a very early age, since maybe 5 years, and my kids now also ask these questions. And the nice thing is that we have to keep asking these questions. It's in our innate, in our cellular structure. We need to find meanings for our presence, for our existence. So I love this. I got it from the book. All our aspirations, ambitions, and associations are underpinned by our quest by meaning. And this is never ever underestimate this, and don't let anybody stop you from asking these questions, because I'm sure you go through. I've been around people who, when I ask these questions, like, oh, why you worry about that? No, don't ask about this. Just do the thing. And every day when I was working in my dream job, I was asking myself, okay, so what? What's the meaning of me coming here? What impact am I leaving? What would happen if one day I'm gonna die? What is the meaning of me spending 9 hours for 11 years in this place? So very simple. Why I have to die? Why I'm alive? Basic. Don't let anyone stop you from asking these, because this is your nature. This is our human being. Who are you as a human self? Big question, and the answer is not gonna be here, but I'm gonna get into in this book, Dana Zohar. It's an amazing book. I will tell you the story how I got this book at the end. In the 17th century, René Descartes said, I know that I have a mind, and I know that I have a body. And I know that the two are completely separate. I'm my mind, I have a body. Can you see what he said? So, two different entities. I am a mind, I have a body. Newton took this, Isaac Newton took this split. It's a split here. It's not one, like there's no oneness in the perspective. And Newton started creating, the physical law of the universe based on this separation philosophy. And this is why we till now still, like, this is the Newtonian science, like everything is separated in atomic bits, like different things. Physical is different, mind is different, everything is classified in separated categories. And till now we have this mindset, and we still this thinking dominates our businesses, our corporations, and definitely our minds today. And this is why I love our days, and I'm happy to be alive in the 21st and 22nd century. This is a blessing, guys, to be here and this manifest this shift and this huge leap in the science and in the consciousness. So today, guys, it's becoming more and more obvious that the world does not consist of isolated parts, but everything is a one part. And this is what the quantum physics is proving, that the universe consists of a dynamic energy, self-organizing waves, and the boundaries of each interwoven with those. I want to share with you this. Okay. See, so today, this is the word. This is the word. Can you separate the drops of water from the waves and the waves from the sea? So we are exactly like the interlocking patterns of waves on the sea and the ocean. This is the reality. This is what quantum physics proves, that we are not separated. We don't have separate parts or separate entities. Everything is connected to you, and you are part of this huge universe. And the world's physical systems are all interrelated. And I'm sure you heard about the butterfly effect. This is the theory of the chaos theory, that if one butterfly moves its wing in Tokyo, there is enough causes to create a tornado in Kansas City. And this has been proved, has been showed by by an experience. I forget the name of the guy, the scientist who worked and proved the chaos theory. And why I'm sharing all this, because I want you to see how big you are. I want you to see how important to realize that you are no longer a human being, a small person walking this earth and looking at the mountain as they are separated from you, or seeing the stars as if they are on a different. Guys, we are connected. We are in this sea of this ocean that is a field of consciousness and energy. And once we realize this, we start getting into understanding, we're gonna go through how is, like, from the business corporate leadership perspective, how this gonna help you shift your whole performance, your whole results when you deal with what you do, what you work on from, and lead your life from a quantum perspective. So today we're gonna continue and realize that we need a new leadership, and this is what we're gonna say, why we need a leadership, new leadership. Because what we have, all the companies, the organizations that are around us are basically existing on the Newtonian science and the Newtonian mindset that everything should be separate. And it proved that we all know that there are a lot of crises happening inside the corporations and the organizations, because they have never realized, because us human we're always seeing that we are living within boundaries. Well, there are no boundaries dividing yourself, your mental aspect, your emotional aspect, your spiritual aspect, exactly your work, your personal, your love life. You are all the time in direct and relationship and connection. You feed on this and you feed this. So this is very important to realize. So today we're gonna, I like this. If you want to keep it to the universe, this is the quantum physics. This is the basic of this new science, that we are like this ocean, this sea. And I like to also show you that this is the field. You are here. Can you separate anything? Like I want to show you. Can you see, like we are a wave, we are like a wave on in the ocean, so not connected to all the other waves, connected to the all the potentiality of the ocean, right? So this is important to start shifting your mind and feeling that you are part of a huge infinite potential. Okay, so what's the implication of this to our professional life, to the business world? In management theory, I'm gonna talk about a little bit the management, that the British engineer Frederick Taylor insisted that every organization is bound by, like they created, every organization has laws and principles, and you have to, like, when you get employed by these organizations, you get into they have to live and work and behave according to these laws and principles, and the human beings within these organizations should really behave accordingly. What does this mean? It means that we are the whole thing is programmed, so we just go enter the work organization or a company, and we start working as like following a programmed mind. And but with the time, they realize that the human being are emotional being, and they are not separated from their emotions and from their spiritual aspects. So they started working, and I'm sure since then we started big companies early in the back in the years, they initiated the corporate transformation programs, and they started to develop capacity building and coaching programs, because they wanted their employees to unleash their creativity and their productivity, because they have seen that like when an employee starts a new job, their motivation, their learning curve, the motivation curve goes up up up, then goes into static stage, and then they start going down down down. And what is a company without the employee? So the employees are the company, are the organization. So they started working on helping and creating again this, and helping to unleash the potentiality of the humans and the employees. Ironically, I've been there, and this is what used to like annoy me a little bit, is like they spend millions, companies around the world, international companies, local companies, they spend millions of dollars on restructuring, changing vocabulary, instead of training, capacity building, for example. Instead of goals, we start talking about visions and values, and they start doing workshop, like a 2-day workshop on enhancing your creativity. Guys, this is like exactly as Dana Zohar said, it is like moving the same furniture in the same room, we're just moving them around. Well, how much this is gonna, like how much change is gonna happen here if we have the same room and the same furniture, and we're just changing their places? Nothing. Like, it's gonna be a ridiculous change. And with time, they started using the, I'm sure you heard, I don't know if you heard about the Maslow's hierarchy of needs, the pyramid of Maslow. So they started in the companies bringing this we call it Maslow's pyramid. I'm gonna share with you this is Okay, so this is Maslow's pyramid, and it has been developed or created by the psychologist Abraham Maslow, and it's very, very famous in the organizations and the companies. And they, if they want to, especially when they want to work on leadership and enhancing the employees' capacities, this Maslow's pyramid was about the needs for human beings, and it provides also that it defines the priorities for the person, for humans. And because our priorities, our motivations are connected to our priorities, so I'm motivated. If I want money, maybe I'm motivated to work more. If like there's always our motivation is always connected to a priority, to a need. And as you see, I don't know, can you see this clearly? What's written inside this? The category. It's a pyramid shape, and these are human needs. Are, as you see, they are divided. They are divided based on like survival, safety, security, the growth needs, and you have also the belonging, self-esteem, the ego, the self-actualization. And as you see, the top of the pyramid is the self-actualization, and this is the need to feel that we need to find meanings. So Maslow's, and what is now the companies do, existing companies, they consider self-actualization, the search for meaning, is the like the icing on the cake, the cherry on the cake, which is not the cake. So they don't handle it as a top priority. So they consider that self-actualization comes at last in the pyramid. While what we said and what we realized, that we are humans who cannot function without meanings. We need to find meanings, and that this is very important, that we always have to find meaning. If we don't find meaning, we go into crisis and we stop functioning, and we go into depression, we go into sickness and disease. And this that the 21st century was we started hearing about the stress as a disease, which was not maybe years back. We started hearing about anxiety attacks. All these are kind of, we need meanings. We have this, the self is a dynamic system, and our needs support each other. We cannot consider that our needs are separated. They are connected together. And this is what in the quantum physics, the Maslow's pyramid, this pyramid has been transformed, is cannot function, because we are not separated. We cannot separate the developmental needs from the survival needs, from the self-actualization needs. So in the quantum world, this is the new, I'm gonna share with you this. Maslow's pyramid is replaced with the set of interlocking concentric circles, and it's very nice and very I don't know if does this make sense to you? Look at this chart. As you see, the spiritual need, your values, the vision, the meaning are at the center of the circle, and they underpin everything else. Because we are we are spiritual beings, and this is what we're gonna explain here. And once we tap into this dimension, we're gonna transform all our behaviors. So which one you prefer, the pyramid, or not prefer, to which chart you relate more? A pyramid, and you like to be treated as, okay, you get your first priorities, they're like survival, ego, and then the company should not maybe invest more to help you realize who you are or achieve self actualization? Or you prefer to have this kind of relationship with yourself, with your business, and with your organization? I definitely can relate more to this, and we're gonna see what's the quantum self. So we are, again, human being, but we are also, as I said, at our core spiritual, have a very strong spiritual aspect, and we are not separated. These three circles, like the 1, 2, 3, 4, and they are all interwoven together, and they are part of the universe, the field, the quantum field that we are swimming in it, in this ocean. So there's no separation, there's no boundary, and there's no way we can deal with ourselves as separate parts. We're going to talk a little bit about the self, quantum self. So the quantum self here is, it's referred to the spiritual level of the self. It's our very core self. This is the source of the self, where we didn't at that the quantum self does not have any self-identification. It's beyond or before the mental, the emotional, before saying that I'm a mind, I'm a body. It's just this quantum existence, that preceded every self-identification. And at this level, the thinking that originates at the spiritual level, guys, is called the quantum thinking, which we're gonna be talking a lot in here, which we are lacking actually, because it's no one's mistake, but we have to be patient until science experiment this. Although, as I always say, the esoteric sciences, the spiritual teachings now are meeting with the quantum physics. But whoever who was not at the spiritual teaching path, so for us, we were following the Newtonian science, and this is why we had to wait until we get into the quantum physics and start getting into the science behind our true being, who we are. So the quantum self is, and the quantum thinking is the thinking that precedes categories and structure and mindset. You hear a lot about mindset. At the quantum thinking, there is nothing called mindset. It's nothing. We're just talking about the very beginning, the very potentiality of thinking. Okay, a business, a company. What is a business? What is a company? What is an organization? At the end of the day, they are, a group of people. They are run by humans, by human beings. So, like an individual, any business, any company, any work must always be able to access its spiritual core. And how to do this? Using the quantum thinking and connecting to the quantum self, because the organization and business is about organizing humans, right? We are like a group of people, and individuals created an organization. So at the end of the day, even your work, your business, your company, your work have to have a mental, emotional, and spiritual dimensions. Please, I know it's not easy to grasp this, but this is how it is. And the minute you start dealing with your work, with your company, with your business from this perspective, you're gonna be enjoying what you're doing more. You're gonna be succeeding beyond any limitation, like a quantum success, let's call it, and it's gonna make more meaning. So you're gonna become a more fulfilled human being, a more fulfilled person. So as we stated earlier, the human self does not consist of separate parts. I cannot locate where my mind is. I cannot locate where my spirit is, right? They are not separate entities. We are one ocean, one lake in an ocean, one drop in the ocean. No more does your organization, your business, because the old fashion of creating businesses, like you have the product development, you have the marketing, you have the finance, nobody talks to anybody, and the separation and categorization in the organization is gonna change, and it's gonna be the minute if you run your own business and you start dealing from this holistic approach with your business, you're gonna be creating a balanced body, a balanced organization, an organization that's going to be walking regardless of the uncertainties outside, in balance and progressing toward achieving better and better results. Now I like this, I got it from the book exactly how it is, because as we said, things have to make sense to us, right? And how we perceive things, our mental aspect follows our spiritual and our emotional aspects, not the opposite. I want to ask you this. Dana Zohar is a very, professional person. She worked with big companies and she coached them and to shift their management and leadership to the quantum level. So she worked with Shell company, and what she says, is Shell an oil company or Shell is an energy company? When she was in a meeting, with Shell, she asked them, "Is Shell an oil company or an energy company?" Ask, if you have a business now or we work with any company, ask yourself, find like this kind of question, because the answer to that question is the key to the company's core vision. Okay, so the two answers are very different, and they lead to different set of terms, of goals, of roles of impact. Because when if Shell is, if I'm dealing with my company as just selling product, and then it's different approach if I want to market it, if I want to promote it. But if I look at my company or my business as and like we say energy company, means there is, I have to respect maybe climate change conventions. I have to watch out about my company's prints, carbon prints. I have to think into a more developmental strategy, and I have to take into consideration my impact on the larger economy, my footprint in the business world. Can you see, like, when you scale up or you ask some question, you're gonna widen your vision and you're gonna go into a higher dose of clarity and motivation and more fulfilling answers, so you are more engaged in what you do. So in business and organization, guys, like humans, like us, we have to ask questions. And the questions of what priorities to set, which goals to pursue, are very important. And these two come from the emotional and spiritual aspect of your company, of your business, of your organization. Even if you are an employee, you can still apply this. Ask yourself, you can help your company to shift, to elevate, especially if you are in a managerial position. It's time to shift our game from selling a product without thinking of the impact, the huge ripple effect. As we said, a butterfly wings in Beijing, in Tokyo, can create a tornado in Kansas City. Can you see this theory, this quantum presence? It's huge. And I have a very small business that I started less than 2 years, and I deal with it. I wake up and I don't see it. I see it has a mind, a soul, and also a heart, emotions. I always deal with what I do from this perspective, and I always think of the impact, the ripple effect. What I want is this. Ask these big questions today and see how you're gonna be, your mind is gonna be challenged to shift the scope. So if you want, now you tell me, okay, I love that, I want to do a transformation, I want to transform, I want to start doing this, what should I do today? I want to tell you, first of all, never stop thinking that you are 3 parts, you are one part, one quantum self that is connected to a quantum field. The quantum field is an ocean of potentiality, and if you want a genuine, you aspire to a transformation in your life, in your business, in your company, I want you to start, you have to do these three things. Here it is, I put them here for you. You have to change the thinking behind the thinking. You must learn to ask fundamentally new questions and start mastering the quantum thinking. What is quantum thinking? This is what I'm gonna be talking about in the next episode of the Mind Talk. And yes, sorry, it's might be a little bit long, but I have to cover. This is a revolutionary, as we said, business talk, thinking and business content. So it's okay. You can take the time to watch them after, but trust me, this is, if you are thirsty for a real change, a leap in your daily life, in your business, in your career, we have to start shifting our mind and our thinking to learn more about the quantum thinking. This is what I'm gonna be talking about next week. I will be talking about the quantum thinking and how your brain can rewire itself. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoy the replay. And if you like to know more about any specific topic from the one I approached today, these are very huge topics. You can Google, you can watch. There are a lot of content on the internet. Choose what resonate with you the most. I wish you a great week, and yeah, stay quantum. Bye. Good day.